What's up guys, it's Steven, and in today's video I'm going to be breaking down the sample. So here's the final product that I'm going to be breaking down, and it's actually super inspired by Travis Scott and Don Toliver, so yeah, here's what it sounds like. So that's what the final sample sounds like, and now I'm going to start breaking it down. So the first element that I added in this sample was this bass one-shot from a Bass One and Pilgrim one-shot kit. And so I just played out this super simple pattern that sounds like this. So as you can tell, it's only 3 notes. And then for the processing, I just added this R bass, this Arturia preamp called Pre-1973. And then after that, I just put this RC20 preset. I made sure to put it in mono. And then another trick I like to use on the RC20, if I want to put some white noise on my bass samples, I'll turn up the white noise and then I'll turn up the follow to about 80%. And what this does is that when the signal goes down, the white noise sound will go down too. So that makes sure that the white noise isn't playing throughout the whole sample. And then the last thing I added was a little bit of compression from this GHC plugin called Wolf Compressor. And then after that, I just added this one shot. It's another bell from a Bass One and Pilgrim one-shot kit. And then I just added these slide notes. So here's what it sounds like. For the processing on this sound, I put a decent amount of processing plugins on it, as you can see. So the first thing I put was this reverb. It's called Cleverb and it's made by Clevgrand. And then I just have it on the small preset with a small pre-delay. The next plugin I added was this plugin called Doll LP. It's basically a vinyl simulator that makes it sound super lo-fi. For this plugin, I just tweaked a couple of the knobs to make it sounding how I want. The next thing I added was another Wolf compressor, and as you can see, I barely put any compression on. And then after that, I just put an RC20 with this configuration. And then moving on, the next sound I used in this sample was this pad from Farfisa called Lonely Mon. And then I just played out this melody that sounds like this. And then as you can tell, there's a good amount of processing plugins on it. So now I'm going to go into depth on what I did. So again, I added the Cleverb with a bit bigger of a pre-delay. And then the biggest effect I put on this sample was this J37 with the filtered wave stereo mod preset. And for this effect, I put an automation clip to make it go up in certain parts of the sample. And then the 2 last things that I added was this delay plugin by Arturia called Delay Tape and a super simple EQ. Moving on, the next sound I added was this acoustic guitar. I played it with my real guitar. It looks like a ukulele, but it's just a super small guitar. And so here's what it sounds like. And then for the processing on this guitar, the first thing I added was the Wolf compressor. And then next I added this Valhalla vintage verb with a small decay. And then after that I added this RC20, but I used the VHS preset and I just tweaked a couple of the knobs. I also made sure to put it in mono because I wanted it to be one of the main points of the sample. And then the next part of the sample is this guitar lead that I played with my guitar again. And so here's what it sounds like. So as you can tell, the guitar sounds pretty pitched up and sped up. And so what I did for this guitar is I just recorded it in a pretty slow tempo. So here's what the original guitar sounded like. But basically what I did is I'll just time stretch it and I'll make sure to put it on resample so it'll pitch it up as well. And then for the processing on the guitar lead, it's actually the exact same as the original guitar. The only difference is I added this NS1, which is basically just a noise suppressor from Waves. And then the next element that I added was this toy piano from Keyscape. This is what the preset is. And so for the sound, I just decided to play some super simple chords that sound like this. And so for the processing on the keyscape, I just put this retro color that's basically just a reverb. And then again, I used the Wolf compressor on it. And then I added this super simple delay eternity preset with the wet turned down a lot. And then finally, I just added these EQs. So moving on to the final part of the sample, I actually used this drum loop from my Ember one-shot kit. There's going to be a link for it down in the description in case you guys want to check that out. But here's what it sounds like. So yeah, I just put that in there just to give the sample a little bit more texture. And then for the processing on it, I just used this pancake again. And then I used this EQ to boost some of the mid-lows. And since this was a pre-made drum loop, I actually didn't even have to go crazy on the effects, so yeah. And so once I had all of those sounds, I rendered them out and arranged the sample. And so here's what it sounds like. So as you can tell, it has that Travis Scott and Don Toliver type feel, but I actually wanted to pitch it up and speed it up. So what I did is I just rendered it as one final sample, and then I time stretched it to 40 bars, and I turned it on to resample, and then I sped it up to about 156. So here's what it sounds like now. And then the final things I added on my master chain, which is the exact same as my previous video, was just this EQ, mid-side matrix, and can opener. And so yeah, that's pretty much it for the sample. So that's it for the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed and learned something. If you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more stuff like this. And then the last thing I'm going to say is be sure to go follow my social medias at @StevenSchaefer_ on all platforms. And so yeah, that's it for the video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.